What really is masculine energy and how does it differ from feminine energy? Why do women often get angry at men? Why do men struggle to understand women? And what does the ideal being look like? This video is your complete guide on masculine and feminine energies and navigating the interactions between the two. Firstly, it's important to understand something. The universe can be simply broken down into two types of energies. There is light and there is love, or what's known as the 0 point energy field in science. Before creation began, there was just the 0 point field, or love. This is a field of energy that contains all infinite possibilities, without any of those possibilities being manifested. It's completely dark, still, silent, and materially empty if you go by our current scientific measuring tools. But the feeling of this energy, the feeling, is playful, loving, joyful, orgasmic, and 100% presence. This is pure feminine energy. Creation started from this pure feminine energy orgasming, and out of that orgasmic explosion of energy, it birthed the energy of light. Light is a way for the infinite possibilities of feminine energy to manifest in a material way. All of creation was created with the use of light energy, making this hologram that we call creation. This light energy is masculine energy. But what plays with the light energy, what directs the hologram, is the backdrop of the feminine energy, which is always there, within and around all the light. Light kept dividing and dividing, with each individual spark then forming holographic illusions of galaxies, stars, planets, and all other beings, such as plants, animals, and humans. The light essence of each being is what's known as the soul. The illusion of physical bodies is created by slowing down some of the light of the soul, which creates the image of something physical. And so, each being contains both masculine and feminine energy, light and love. Let's talk more about how each energy acts through each being. Feminine energy is the energy of the experience of the present. It concerns itself with enjoying what's now. It is the 0 point energy that is always present and still. Whereas light is always moving, it is never still, and so the masculine energy always has a drive. It is more action orientated. It always wants to go somewhere and take action in some way. This can be seen physically represented in the genitals of men and women and the act of sex. Firstly, it is usually the more masculine person that chases the more feminine person, as the masculine is the one that takes action to pursue, while the feminine is still and receptive. And in sex, it is the male genitals that protrude out of the body towards the feminine, with the sperm driving towards the feminine, while the female genitals act as a receiving host. This is the physical representation of the difference between masculine and feminine energy. On an energetic level, the journey of the soul, which is the light essence of each holographic being, strives towards eventually becoming one with the feminine again, which is when the light is reabsorbed back into the infinite possibilities of pure feminine energy, marking the end of the soul journey. Now, for the story of creation to unfold, and for you to follow your life path, you need a combination of both energies. If you have an imbalance where you are more feminine energy dominant, you would be too still and not get the actions done that life wants you to take. If you have an imbalance where your masculine energy is more dominant, then you would be restless, always taking action, always looking ahead, trying to achieve things and get things done without stopping to enjoy the now. A balanced being is someone who is aligned with the flow of life, taking action when life wants them to take action, but stopping and being still when life wants them to be still, which is usually quite often. Initially, you might think that A balanced being sounds like someone who wouldn't get much done in life if they are regularly being still. But being still is when you can really enjoy the present. It's when you can recharge, heal, learn from experiences, and when you can really tune in to inspiration and what life wants you to do next. All of this allows you to actually get more done in the long term. If you are constantly doing things and not stopping, you easily burn yourself out, and you often take actions that are not guided by life, which often leads to dead ends and wastes of energy, and you don't improve the way you do things as quickly. Life will also seem a lot more serious when you aren't stopping to really enjoy the present, and you can suddenly find yourself at a point where your whole life has gone by without you really savoring it, leading to regrets on your deathbed. When you stop, you give yourself permission to relax, be lighthearted, and enjoy playing and laughing. Because feminine energy cares more about enjoying the now, that's why you'll find feminine beings care more about the aesthetics of the present moment, making things look, feel, smell, sound, and taste as pleasurable as possible. The feminine likes to take her time with things, while the masculine cares more about efficiency and achieving more and more goals. This explains the common scenario of a woman regularly giving jobs for the man to do as issues arise in a household so that the aesthetics are always maintained at a good standard, while a man likes to wait until the jobs pile up and they can do it all at once, taking less overall time and making it more efficient. It also explains why jobs that require more delicacy, an eye for creativity and colours, and cannot be rushed, will usually be female dominated, while physically intensive jobs that require a lot of manual labour to be done are more male dominant. It is also why females prefer sex to be slow and sensuous, caring more about the connection element of the experience, while males tend to gravitate towards wanting sex to be fast, with focus on getting to the end goal of orgasm. The balanced being is someone who is perfectly aligned with life's will, taking the time and delicacy when life requires it of them, but getting more things done quickly when life requires that. A balanced being can get a lot done while also ensuring the result is aesthetically pleasing. If someone is feminine dominant, then they will often be perfectionists, and this can really block them from just taking actions towards a project. If someone is masculine dominant, they may find that they're not afraid to start projects, even if they're imperfect at first, improving them along the way, but this can waste time and energy in the long term. The balanced being waits a bit until they get clear guidance from life about taking action, but then they do take those actions. When challenges and emotions arise, the imbalanced feminine and the imbalanced masculine will react differently. The feminine wants to sit in the experience of emotions for a while, often holding on to emotions, and she wants to take her time in overcoming a challenge. The issue with this is that the feminine dwells in suffering longer than she needs to be, and often leads to her not taking the necessary actions to overcome a challenge. Meanwhile, the masculine just wants to overcome the challenge as quickly as possible and not deal with the emotions. The issue with this is that men often suppress their emotions as a result, and they may take actions that aren't guided by love. This is why women often get angry at men when men want to help fix an issue that a woman is experiencing, because the woman wants to dwell in the experience for a while, and men don't understand why a woman doesn't just want to solve the issue quickly. The balanced being is someone who doesn't suppress emotions as they arise, but doesn't hold on to them either. They let emotions arise and pass through them naturally, and then they tune into how life wants them to overcome the challenge before they act, but then they do act straight away. When it comes to interactions with people, the feminine energy wants to really take the time to be with people, enjoy their company, play, dance, connect deeply, and listen to the other. Whereas the masculine energy is often the talker, and isn't really as interested in playing or being with people, but more in getting something useful from an interaction, which can include laughter. Both have their advantages, but this explains why people often feel more loved, seen, and heard around women, why children often, but not always, feel a stronger connection to their mother than their father, and why you tend to have deeper conversations with a woman than a man. However, someone who is more feminine energy dominant may find herself not being as vocal or not being listened to, letting herself get pushed around by others, and preferring to suppress what she wants in favor of not wanting there to be conflict with others. Whereas you may find that you laugh more around men, and men often seem to be good conversation starters. But there is a risk of a masculine being more dominant and overbearing upon others, not really listening to others, taking advantage of others in an interaction, and sometimes even being quite aggressive. As a result of the imbalances between masculine and feminine energy within human beings, our society has been more masculine energy led for a long time. This is not just because of masculine aggression, that's half the cause. The other half has been caused by feminine submissiveness. A balanced being will listen to others, but also have the confidence to say what they want to say. A balanced being will want to make people laugh, but also enjoy having deep conversations. They hold the space for others to express themselves, but aren't afraid to stand up for their truth as well, even if it is conflicting. But they do not force themselves on others or get aggressive. When we talk about the feminine and masculine energy, we're not necessarily saying that women are more feminine energy dominant and men are more masculine energy dominant. Either gender can be imbalanced in either way, but more often than not, women tend to be more feminine energy dominant, while men tend to be more masculine energy dominant. But this has been changing over several decades now. Men are being less masculine energy dominant, while women are being less feminine energy dominant. And this is actually a positive sign of progress, a sign of balancing, despite the resistance to this from some within society. The ideal man is not someone who's very masculine, but someone who uses masculine energy when they need to, under the guidance of life, but enjoys resting in the feminine when life isn't guiding them to do anything. The ideal woman is not someone who is very feminine, but someone who rests in feminine energy until life wants them to take action, at which point they do so using masculine energy. Someone who calls themselves a transgender is someone who is masculine energy dominant but in a female body, or is feminine energy dominant but in a masculine body. But it is not that they are in the wrong body. Life doesn't make mistakes, and each soul chooses what body they want before they enter into it. This is just a soul's natural way to balance themselves out. If you are feminine energy dominant, you may choose to inhabit a male body to build up more masculine energy within you, so you can be more balanced. And the same is true the other way. Someone who is imbalanced will always feel a sense of being incomplete. A masculine dominant person will feel they are missing a balancing feminine energy, and this is the motivation why such a being might look for a feminine dominant partner. And a feminine dominant person will feel they are missing a masculine energy to balance them out, motivating them to search for a masculine dominant partner. But what each person is really looking for is wholeness within themselves, something a partner cannot really give you. The union of masculine and feminine energy in balance within you is the true meaning of marriage. A balanced being feels whole and complete on their own, and so they don't go out searching for a partner. But if life does naturally bring someone into their life that is to be an intimate connection, they enjoy it without attachment or neediness. When two balanced beings connect, there is no clear pursuer and no clear person being pursued, just a mutual dance of energy. We hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments below if you feel balanced or imbalanced in some way. What things do you now understand more deeply as a result of watching this video? and let us know if you have any questions about this topic.